Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another 911 review. All right, y'all, I hope everybody's feeling good. If you're not, then you know I'm very sorry. I hope everything is okay, and hopefully my videos today will give you some source of entertainment, light, a giggle, a cackle, something to make you feel better. Okay, that's what we here for today. All right, so let's go ahead and get into 911. So you guys, why do people love attention so much? Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I love attention because I'm a YouTuber. I'm also someone who is of the arts, okay? So, yeah, I love entertaining and I also love attention. But I don't love it enough to hurt myself for it. And what I mean is, why? Why, by God, does the episode start off with 3 grown men doing some stupid prank on a merry-go-round with a motorcycle? Oh yes, let me explain. So they cocked the motorcycle against the merry-go-round and they put their dumber friend on the merry-go-round and he spins uncontrollably. And I don't know why anyone would sign up to do something like this. He obviously, you know, things are connecting on all cylinders. If he thought this would be fun, a good idea, a source of entertainment, it's none of that. It's crazy as hell. Because what happens is the motorcycle is spinning its wheel against the merry-go-round and he's spinning, holding on for dear life. Okay, and all of a sudden the motorcycle catches on fire. Of course it catches on fire. And then his 2 Nimrod friends couldn't stop the motorcycle from spinning him, so he's just spinning for however long it took them to call the ambulance, go and hide, and then wait for the crew to get there. Okay, so they get the motorcycle, you know, fire out. They stop the merry-go-round and they get the guy off the merry-go-round, and when he leans back, his eyes are bugging out of his head. And you guys, oh my god, oh my god, it was the most terrible thing that I've like, I don't want to say that I've ever seen, because I've seen some pretty terrible things, but this was a close top 10 of some of the most terrible things. The dude's eyes were bugged out of his head and somehow he was still alive. He had like a mini stroke of some sort, and they said that it was G-force poisoning because he was spinning. All the brain went to his head and he was pushing his eyeballs out of his head. So they had to push his eyeballs back in and release some of the pressure. And once his, you know, brain kind of simmered down and the blood started to go back down to the rest of his body, you know, then he woke up and he was okay, and he decided that he must need better friends if this is what he's getting himself involved in. The police were called on the 2 friends who were away hiding behind a bush. Bobby saw them. And when Athena comes to arrest them, Bobby pulls out his phone so that the guy who actually got hurt during this whole ordeal can watch as his 2 stupid associates, because they are not real friends, and I think we figured that out by now, got arrested. Thank you, Athena. We appreciate you arresting these menaces of society. Oh yes, I hate you people. I'm sorry, I don't usually use that word. But see, people like this, people that will do anything for social media followers, even though I do this for a living, I detest you people. Like those Caucasian girls that are licking the toilet seats. Like, what is that about? Is it worth it for you to catch herpes inside your mouth? Is that worth it? I don't know. Either way, that's what my mind went to. People wanting attention so bad that they're willing to put their body in harm's way. Oh my God. Or the friends who won't do it to themselves, but will do that to their less smart, unsuspecting friend. Maddie and Chimney have a heated game of poker. And I'm saying heated, but that's just because that's the way the game started. You know, really close on Jennifer Love Hewitt's eyebrows and everything. But anyway, she invited her coworker Josh. We really like Josh. He was one of the first people to be really nice to Maddie when she started working at the 911 call center. So we like him. He comes over for dinner and poker along with Buck. And the conversation is about how tragic it is that the 2 of them are single. So single. Desperately single. Josh seems to be a little bit more sensitive to the subject matter than Buck, because later on he gets online and finds himself a nice guy to go out on a date with. And once again, we're getting that sisters vibe when Maurice was going on that date with Alonzo. Something is amiss. It's the look on the female friend's face while she's looking at her gay friend in fear that someone will beat him up because he's homophobic. I don't understand people that have this type of time, you know, to form a relationship, text and talk, also that they can meet up with someone to hurt them. That's way too much time and effort. Like, I don't understand. Of course, there's a more realistic nuance on 911 compared to Sisters, because that is Tyler Perry. But we'll get to that soon. Eddie takes Carla. Y'all, we ain't seen Sweet Brown in a minute, but I forgot that Carla was helping Eddie with his son Christopher. Y'all know his son Christopher is a bit disabled, but he's a super great kid, super sweet, smart, just, you know, I forget what it's called, but you know, he has to walk in those things because I guess his spine isn't right. Like, I'm not sure what it is, so I don't want to speak on it because I forgot what the sickness or the ailment is, because, you know, I don't want to say the wrong thing. But either way, we know that there are things that he can't do. He has some limitations, but Eddie needs help with him, so Carla helps often. Eddie takes Carla to Christopher's parent-teacher conferences. I don't know why he needed help for this, but Carla seemed to know what she was doing, okay? She said, be prepared for all the corny jokes. They go from science teacher, math teacher, geography teacher, whatever, and they land on the beautiful young English teacher, who is obviously going to be a love interest for Eddie. And we're glad, because Ronda Rousey was not working out. Athena gets called to the hospital by a doctor because a patient came in with a bullet wound in the back of her head. She has no idea how she got the bullet in the back of her head, has no idea she was ever shot. They don't even know how long it's been there. The woman has been having headaches and memory issues, and she's used to writing a lot of things down and having a really good memory, and things have been slipping away from her constantly ever since whatever happened. So now Athena is tasked with figuring out what happened to this woman who has a bullet in the back of her head and no way to explain it to us. Once Athena and her partner talks to the lady, we can just about guess it's the husband. It's definitely probably the husband. That's the only way someone would get shot in the back of the head. Nobody would find out about it. And then the person would be made to just go on with their lives as if nothing ever happened. Eddie shows up to the school after Christopher is hurt. And Carla was like, I told you it wasn't a big deal. You didn't have to come down here. But he's, you know, all upset. What happened to Christopher? And the teacher, the English teacher, the very sweet, beautiful English teacher, and Carla explained that Christopher was trying to ride on a skateboard like one of the other kids who's not supposed to bring skateboards to school. But either way, Christopher wanted to ride on it, and Christopher ended up hurting himself. Instead of Eddie realizing that he's a kid, and yes, maybe he shouldn't have been on a skateboard because of his specific issues, that doesn't mean that it's a big deal. He fell, it's okay. But Eddie dresses the English teacher down, tells her that she should have been watching his kid. That's what he's paying them to do. Like, all of this. He basically chewed the English teacher out. And he thinks the kids must have pushed Christopher, and that it wasn't a situation where the kids were just trying to teach him how to ride on a skateboard, because that's what the teacher said. Eddie is so used to thinking that people are going to hurt Christopher that I think he forgot that it's just a normal kid thing for him to fall and hurt himself every now and again. I think he'll be okay. But Eddie wasn't hearing it, okay? Eddie was like, end of school day, that's it, we going home. And the way he picked Christopher up, I was like, Christopher is too damn big for you to be picking him up, okay? He can walk. He can walk. Put him down. Like, you know, I think that was a very physical way to show that Eddie needs to let Christopher figure out who he is, because he's coming of age. He's getting older. He's not like a young kid anymore. He's what, 12, 13? So he's about to get into these teenage years, and you're not going to be able to pick his big ass up all the time whenever he falls and hurts himself. So you need to have a real conversation with him about his limitations. And this is what Carla tells Eddie after the whole situation. And he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to have this real conversation with his son where he tells him there are things that he can't do. When he sits down to talk to Christopher, Christopher tells him that it was his idea to ride the skateboard because his dad told him he can do anything. Well, guess what, Dad? You lied. I was like, oh, he didn't figure it out. You've lied. Yeah, you can't keep picking him up anymore. He said you lied, okay? Unless it's an emergency, you're gonna have to let Christopher walk from now on, because he just told you that you was a liar because you told him he can do anything, and the first time he got on the skateboard and fell, you know, all of a sudden he can't do things. And I just think that It's something to be explained and thought about before you explain it. But there are regular kids that fall and hurt themselves on skateboards. Most people don't do something perfect the first time they do it. And I think there needs to be room to explain that to him, but also explain what he is going to be able to do and what's going to be harder for him. So then we see a couple, a man and a woman, meet up on a dating app. They're super quirky and awkward and cute. They have a really nice date. They take it back to his place. They're making out on the sofa, but her stomach starts to growl as if she has to relieve herself. So she goes to his bathroom to do number 2. The toilet clogs. So she picks the shit up out of the toilet with the towel and tries to throw it out the window. But the way the window is set up, it fell on the window sill outside of the window. So the lady jumps up on the ledge of the window so that she can grab the towel and throw it down off the building. The building isn't tall enough for all of this, mind you, but whatever. And who wants to get hit by the towel filled with shit who might be below her? She didn't think this out. Either way, she ends up getting stuck in the window. The guy has to call an ambulance because she's been stuck in the bathroom for so long, and when they get there, the shit falls and it miss Henrietta in chimney by this much. While the lady was stuck in a window, she was talking about how embarrassed she was and how the guy is probably never gonna talk to her again and how tough it is to date. Buck says, well, I'm sure it's not as bad as Eddie. Eddie just chewed out his son's teacher who he was really sweet on, and now she'll probably fail his son and never go out on a date with him ever. Thanks, Buck. We needed that. When they get her out the window, she walks over to the guy and she's all embarrassed and she's like, I'm gonna call an Uber, I'm gonna go. And he's like, or you can stay because, you know, everybody shits and this is a story we'll be able to tell our kids. Y'all, it was funny, I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was super cute that he still wanted to date her anyway, but I was looking at him and I was like, at the end of the day, shit or not, she's a catch. Y'all are good. Athena brings some groceries over to Michael's, and y'all know we going through it with Michael right now because he doesn't want to have this surgery to have this tumor removed from his brain. He just wants to go through some type of, you know, trials where they give him radiation pills that are supposed to shrink the tumor, but it just doesn't sound like it's gonna work. And Athena tells him about the woman at the hospital with the bullet in the back of her head and how they had to remove the bullet and it wasn't even a big deal. Like trying to get him to realize that having brain surgery could possibly be easy peasy for the doctor who does it. And Michael now understands why she decided to come over to his house with groceries, as if he can't go and buy his own. He's not an invalid. So he's like, yeah, no, I'm not having a surgery. I want to do this the way I want to do it. And Athena thinks he's being stupid. I think he's being stupid as well, but at the same time, when you're not in that situation, I think that's such an easy thing to say. So I'm gonna cut Michael slack because it's his brain, it's his life, it's his choice. But it is scary to think that he's just waiting to die instead of doing something that could possibly save him. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where Athena is coming from with this whole situation. Then Athena gets a text message from Ballistic saying that the bullet found in the woman's brain was from her own gun. Yeah, definitely the husband. Definitely. So Maddie's coworker Josh goes on this blind date with this guy he met online. It's a public place, so we thought everything would be fine. It was actually a really cute date. They went to a graveyard screening of Frankenstein. I was like, okay, that's super cute. And the guy is like, well, you know, when I was growing up, the best thing about going to the movies was making out all the way in the back of the theater. So let's go and, you know, make out in the back of the theater. So he and Josh get up and they go behind the graveyard, which has like a short wall separating it far enough away into like the trees where people can't really hear or see them. And another guy comes out with a hoodie on and they beat Josh up and rob him and tell him that it was his fault because he was online making it so easy for somebody to make a fool out of him. And I was so upset. I was so upset. I was watching it and I was pissed because I was like, the nerve of you to spend so much time to trick somebody, but then to rob them, beat them up, and then make it their fault because they're so stupid. No, you're just so fucking terrible that you have time to form a relationship with someone also you can rob them of what? 40, 50 bucks, maybe 100. That man did not have enough money on him during that date for that to be worth it. You're an idiot, and I can't wait for them to catch you. You're an idiot. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you basically beat that guy up. That's assault. You can spend like 5 to 10 years in jail. For what? What did you get from that? Oh my God, y'all, it made me so mad. But of course, y'all, very reminiscent of Sisters and what's going on with Maurice over on that show on BET. But here it made more sense. They robbed him instead of somebody that just wanted to beat him up because they hate gay people so much. Like, too much effort for all of that. But either way, just so upset. So upset. I know it don't look it, but I'm upset. Maddie went to the hospital to see about Josh after it all happened. And they took his phone, his car keys, and his wallet. They found his car keys and his wallet, but they didn't find his phone. I'm like, they don't have a tracker on it? Never mind. Either way, Josh doesn't want to give a description of the guy he went on a date with to the police because he's so embarrassed. I said, are you serious? So you're going to let this happen to somebody else who's just trying to find a companion? You're gonna let this happen to somebody else because you're ashamed? Really? Really? That pissed me off even more, y'all. Maddie was so disappointed in him, but I was so mad because I was like, why? Like, why is this okay? Why do you feel like your shame is worse than him doing this to another person and possibly killing them? Because they beat the shit out of him. And if they beat the shit out the wrong person, that person can have a stroke and die, or have an aneurysm, or hit their head and get a concussion and never wake up from it. So there's so many things that can happen by him letting this guy get away with this, all because he's ashamed. And I just was so upset about that. Like, I get it. I get the shame, but there is no shame in this. You were looking for love online like everybody else in 2019, okay? Like, it's a normal thing, and you have to be careful. And you did meet him in a public place, but he went out of his way to hurt you. It's not your fault. You should definitely call the po-po on that hoe. Y'all, I can't. Either way, Athena and her partner go to the woman's house who had the bullet in the back of her head, and they end up talking to her nosy neighbor who had all the tea, okay? All the tea. The neighbor said that she likes the wife, but don't really like the husband at all. I'm like, of course you don't. Like, I saw the guy who acted as him, and I was like, yeah, that guy is never a good guy. Never. He's always a schmuck. But the neighbor had got all of the tea from the contractor, and she saw how they were bringing out Christmas decorations and a rug and some other things from the house, and all of that just sounded suspect. So they go back to the hospital and they talk to the woman while her husband is in there holding her hand like the dutiful husband. And they bring up the Christmas decorations and the rug. And as they're bringing these things up, her memory keeps coming back to her. And basically what happened on January 11th, a whole almost 2 weeks after they were supposed to take the Christmas decorations down, she was trying to take them down, and he's sitting on the sofa nursing a drink, watching television, upset because his wife asked him to help her take down the Christmas decorations. He just recently retired, and he thought that his retirement was going to be him sitting on his ass doing whatever he wanted to do, instead of listening to her, because he feels like she's ran his life, his entire life, and she feels like she took care of him his whole damn life. But she was a housewife, and he worked 65 hours a week. She tells him that she misses when he used to go to work, and he's like, that's all you ever wanted, for me to work so you can have all of these stupid ass hobbies that cost so much money. You spending hundreds of dollars to learn how to make something I could spend $20 on. Like, he's going off breaking things and all of that. And she gets up on the ladder to take a reach down off the wall, and she was like, don't forget, at the end of the day, I'm still your wife. You're stuck with me, so get over it. You know, something that you think is just a, you know, a casual argument between a husband and wife, and he had knocked her purse over that was sitting on the table, and her little handgun fell out. So he picked up her handgun and shot her. I guess when he figured out that she wasn't going to die immediately, he felt bad about it and took her on a vacation and had the house renovated. And he says that he tried so hard to make it up to her after. He felt bad about it immediately after. He just lost his mind for a moment. And Athena was like, you can definitely use that in your defense, but I'm taking your ass to jail, okay? And the lady was so upset. And we saw at the end of the episode when she goes home to her house alone and she's looking around at the new living room that she totally didn't even remember remember was renovated. And then the neighbor comes over with some lasagna. And I'm like, ooh, that lasagna look good. I'm hungry. Eddie talks to Christopher about his limitations and how there are things he will be able to do and things he won't be able to do. Of course, Christopher feels some type of way about this. He's like, but Dad, you can get on a skateboard. And he was like, yeah, I can get on a skateboard, but I have a black thumb. I have killed every plant I have ever had. And your teacher tells me that you are really good at growing things. So he's just trying to show Christopher that there are things he's going to be good at and things that other people won't be good at. Just like there are things he's not good at and things that other people are, like the skateboard situation. But Carla, Buck, and Eddie did make a makeshift skateboard to hold Christopher up while he's on it, and then they just push it. So I thought that was really cool because it gave him a chance to have fun and do something that the other kids can do. So he can see that even though it's something you may not be able to do the way they can do it, if you can figure out a way for you to do it, then that's gold right there. Of course, Eddie goes back to the classroom and apologizes to the English teacher. And she was accepting, you know, she was very sweet and nice with a smile on her face and all of this little underlying flirtation. And we here for it because they look cute together. I'm here for it. And we all know that Eddie need him a woman. Child, Eddie need him a woman. Maddie talks to Josh about giving the cops a description of the guy who beat him up, but he won't do it. He's still too embarrassed. But he tells her that he's going to handle it his own way, which worries me. Like, oh my God. Like, what do you mean? What are you going to do? Then he got Maddie lying to the rest of the office about what really happened to him. It's just a lot. And you can tell that something is definitely going to happen from this specific storyline. And I can't wait because those two guys that beat him up, so upset about it, so upset. Anyway, y'all, that was 911. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Y'all, I struggled through this review. Y'all don't know because I'm a good editor, but yeah, struggle life. I love y'all. See y'all in the next one.